Howdy, everybody. Let's position this just a little better. There we go. That'll work. I'm wearing gray. That'll probably bleed through a little bit. That's fine, though. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? Okay, so this is going to be zoomed in a little bit, but it should be a hell of a lot clearer this time. So I haven't streamed in a few days, actually. We've been pretty busy with stuff. Let me turn down my mic a little bit. There we go. Just a tiny bit so that I'm not blowing out your guys' ears. Okay, so last time we sat down, we only got done a couple of guys here, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about what we ended up getting done here, just based on what they look like. And we can actually cover a hell of a lot more. Actually, let me turn this light up a little bit. Whoop! There we go. So we can really get in there and see what's going on. Oh, that's going to be fun to paint. I can't wait. So we're just going to pick up from where we left off, and we're going to sit here and chat for a while. We're going to keep it real cash. I need C. Jamie, how you doing? G Soto, William, J1981. Hi. Okay. This is the Leviathan Box. This is a new starter set from Games Workshop, and there are two armies in here. These are the base Space Marines. Space Marines come in a variety of shapes and colors and stuff, but these are your standard, frontline infantry Space Marine type people. And then, of course, the Tyranid, which are insectoid, alien, it's very easy to frame it as good versus evil, though there is no good, really, in Warcraft. There just is Warhammer. So we're starting with Space Marines because I promised Elle she could have the Tyranids, and she will very much enjoy putting those together. So I don't like how rickety this is. I'm in the midst of setting up a new camera. And I can't wait to get that set up, but right now this is going to be a hell of a lot nicer than the phone I had set up last time, which kind of wasn't focused on anything at all. So we need to find C, which is... It'd help if I knew what that looked like. It'd be faster. Oh, C's a big-ass one. So we need to find the big-ass one. Ugh. That looks like it to me. So we'll start with that. Jamie, I heard you want to get into this. I would love for you to get into this. It'd be fun to play. Felix, thank you, sir. I really have to finish setting up the stream. I'm gonna do it much more, much more often. I was thinking about doing it 5 days a week. I'm not sure though, but it'd be nice. I think it'd be a nice outlet. We're actually talking to Jameson now, and we announced it on the Discord stream, but we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff content-wise. And what we'd like to do is, leading into March of next year, we want to hold a tournament, like a big March Madness bracketed tournament. And we would love for you guys to make it. We don't know where it's going to be or what's going to happen yet, but we definitely want to do something like that. Milo, hey. Jameson's real excited. He's already at the painting stage, and I'm jealous because this is more of a sample army for everyone. The army I'm actually going to be using are the Sisters of Mercy, and they are some badass bitches, and I can't wait to paint them all up and get them done. Let's fix our chat window real quick. Chat box. I feel like that is a little off, and I don't know why. Oh, because it's cropped. Okay. Give me, you know what? We'll just crop the top of it off, and that'll be better. I don't know why I cropped the bottom of it off. That's dumb. There we go. So we got our tools. I can pan out just a little bit, actually. So let me... Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can pan out and have our instructions and all that good stuff. So we need C2 and C3 to put those together. Honestly, this is just one of the most relaxing hobbies. Obviously, not for everyone. I know some people really get, like, shaky when it comes to putting stuff together, and you really don't need to. There's a dozen ways to fix something you've messed up, because God knows I've messed up and continue to mess up. Probably right now. Howdy, Bree. Bree's puzzling. I don't know how to pronounce your new name. I saw Gus in there, but it was like Ungus. Well, thank you for the subscription. Oh, wait. Fungus that's strongest. Okay. That's way easier if I read it after the fact. So thank you for the subscription. Very, very appreciated. We are currently gearing up for DragonCon. That is going to be Labor Day weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you have never been to DragonCon, my God, it's a thing. I would love to see you guys go. Trying to get my... There we go. Get my hands in the stream here. Also, it looks like I hit my hands with a hammer. I don't really know why that is, but I got big rough mitts. So, sorry it is so focused in on that. That is too rough, and I don't like it. So, let's get somewhat of a higher grit. So when you're doing something like this, let's get that autofocus in. Hopefully it'll... There we go. Yeah, so these are slot togethers, which, if you're worried about gluing stuff, if you're worried about making mistakes, it is an excellent way to start, because it just takes one thing out of the equation, you know? So, easy peasy. We take our knee guard here and just pop it on the leg. At the right angle, though. There we go. There we go. So that is one complete leg now. And then we take C1 and C4, and we slot those together. Boom, boom, boom. Rachel, it's really not that many tiny... Oh, okay, yes, I'm lying. I'm straight up lying to you. There are 1,000 tiny pieces, but it helps to do a few things. So, like, you're going to notice I have a big 2-yard piece of fabric here. It is $4 at Walmart, and it is wonderful for keeping bouncing to a minimum. You could see, like, bop, bop. Whereas on the desk, they kind of tend to bounce and slide. I tend to use big pastels or bright colors to make these gray bits pop. Like, white is totally an option. But yeah, no, there's a lot of things you could do to kind of keep that to a minimum. You could even assemble it in, like, a large box. I've seen people do that too, because I'll be honest, this is a headpiece right here. This tiny, this little thing right here is a head. And I have dropped these before. And it's really tough to have an army without skulls. So I've had to search around on my hands and knees, and it is no fun. What am I looking for? One is a body. It is somewhere in here, and I'm not... Okay, that's 5. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. One of the things... This is a dumb little gripe, but one of the things is these are not in order at all. Like, you'll see... You know, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and then there's 12, and then there's 7. It's just kind of spread out a bit, so I'm looking for 1. And I'm sure I'm looking right at it, and I don't see it. There it is. See, it's way over here. That's odd. So there's 2 and 3. Here's 1 down here. Little bits like that will fool you, too, if you're not paying attention. So, like, if you get in, you can see... And... yeah, you can kind of see that this is like a little, like, a piece of a scanner or gun or something, but it'd be very easy to just snip that off and not even realize. So... Again, something I'm sure I've done before. Yeah, I think Julian would probably dig it. I don't know if he'd dig the game. I have no idea. But I know he'd dig the collecting. Is he the kind of guy who paints minis or anything? Has he ever been into that kind of stuff? I'm sure that there's some level of irony to the fact that I have a whole nail kit and my nails look the way they do because I'm using them on Warhammer instead of me. I have never had my nails done. I think it'd feel weird. I'm gonna fix this face cam real quick because I feel like the lighting for this is kind of bleeding through, and I don't like it. So let's go down to our face cam. Oh yeah, it's a little grainy. I don't like it. So let's edit these filters. Woo! Ah! Whoa. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. I'm not fading out of existence anymore. Perfect. Perfect. So, oh, wow. That's not even fair. So, okay, take a look at this. Most of the head is below the chest plate, which is going to make it very difficult to paint, I feel. But that's kind of a running theme with these guys. Gisetto, you've had your nails done. What's the process like? Because I feel like it'd be, I don't know. I feel like the whole thing, it would just be weird. Someone like doing that. Like I'm not used to that level of care, I guess. I have been waxed before though. It is not fun, I guess, is how I'd describe it. So we got our first leg. Ta-da! Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's going to look gorgeous when we're done. Ooh. This head bit, though, man, that is going to bug me. Oh, well. C5. I had the weirdest, this is going to take a little storytelling, so it was like a 3-stage process of grinding, like you're doing the minis, then buffing and shining. It felt weird, like they would peel at any moment. Only you did it once. Jamie, yeah, it's like, it's fine. Like it's effective. Yeah, it's just such a process. And I don't know. I didn't dig it. I didn't like laying still while someone did. I don't know. I just didn't dig it. It's too intimate, I think. I guess that's the word I would say. So, like I was getting ready to say, I had a bunch of like sorting to do. I'm busy sorting all kinds of like map bits and pieces, and the thing I have is a lot of free time. So I got to thinking about a show that I haven't thought of in years. And I think maybe 2 or 3 people may know what I'm talking about. So, back in the early 2000s, I want to say like 2003, like right in there, ESPN actually made a drama series called Playmakers. It was about the NFL, basically, but they couldn't say NFL. And essentially, it was about drug abuse and like all the things the players go through and stuff like that, concussions and all that. And it lasted one season, not because it was a bad show, because it's actually really interesting. It's a footnote in history, though, because the actual NFL pressured them to take it off the air. And when you're a network that primarily covers sports, it's ESPN, one of the major players in sports telling you do it or else, it's got to impact your bottom line, I'm sure. But I always thought it was interesting because it kind of like I've always dug sports dramas, and I couldn't care less about sports, like at all. Don't care. But it's kind of like if you took The Shield and Any Given Sunday and kind of mashed them together. That's how I would put it. And I've been going back through to see if it holds up, because the whole thing's on YouTube, obviously. And A Fire Inside, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. And I've just been going back through it, and it's really good. Like, especially for being 20 years old now, it's really quite good. It's a shame that, like, it's a shame it got canceled after one season. And it's kind of fun to go back through and look at actors and, like, I know that guy. Where do I know him from? And it's like, oh, he's in Letterkenny. And then you look it up to confirm it. Because, again, 20 years, people look a little different. 6 and 7. There we go. 6, we got another leg guard and another leg, which is good, because now we have 2. That's an arm. The other leg will come later. So what is everyone up to out there? What are we doing today? I didn't expect a big turnout for Friday night, so I'm actually happy to see a few people show up. I just figured I would do this for a while because, honestly, I missed it. I can't wait to do some painting streams. I've had some people hit me up after the last stream we did, and they kind of noted how long it was taking to put stuff together. That's pretty much because I'm a little meticulous when it comes to that. Like I get I'm I'm a little pedantic about it, but I just want to make sure they look good, you know? 6 and 7. Wait. Did I grab the wrong part? Oh man, I could have. Oh shit. That's 7. I grabbed 8. Dummy. Ah. There we go. I eventually want to do some photography and stuff with the minis and kind of stage them. I dig stuff like that. I just haven't done it in forever. I always wanted to get better at it, you know? So we slap this in here. Got our second leg guard. Ah! There we go. And then join this at the knee. There we go. We almost got us a full soldier here. This would be an apothecary, I believe. C8 and then C9 is the backpack. So this is our right arm. Fire inside. Finally getting a baby to nap on my lap. Always wanted to get into Warhammer. It's probably a really good time. Like if you're really curious about it and you have a friend or something, you go halvesies on this big box and you save a pretty decent amount of money. And there's enough to keep you busy for quite a while. 9. Big backpack, big backpack. Where is it? There's 10, there's 9. There we are. There we go. Jameson, how you doing, sir? I'd actually get this a little bit closer now so we can focus in on minis specifically without making everyone sick here. No way. So how many of your friends have you got to join the cult of Warhammer so far, Jameson? Aside from my kids, just 2 so far. One is Necrons, one is Marines. So I was just telling everybody we're planning on doing like quarterly meetups. So the first one would be in September after we get back from Dragon Con and stuff, and it would be like a 500 point army. If you've ever played anything like Hero Clicks or anything like that, any mini-based any mini-based like game type thing, Each one of them has a point value. So this commander might be 50 points, right? A tank might be 150 or 200, depending on what it does. And you kind of put an army together based on what you think you might need. Every one of these units do something different. Some might be good at anti-tank stuff. Some might be good at dealing with a wave of really small critters. Some might be good at focus fire. So all of them do different stuff, and that's where the strategy comes in. It's also where Games Workshop makes you want to buy more stuff. Because the more stuff you have, the more options you have, obviously. But that doesn't mean you need to fall for it. Though we do. So this is an apothecary. It's essentially a healing unit. And healing in Warhammer looks to be one of the most painful things, because all these sharp bits, well, they go into your friends. And that's how you heal, somehow. It's the 41st century, and that's the best we've come up with, is real sharp knives and needles. First game will be a good learner. 500 points is very manageable. Yeah, basically what I have, I thought it was worth more, but what I have for the Sisters of Mercy is only 500. It's like 480 points. I was shocked. I thought I had more. And no, actually, I don't. I didn't get a starter box. I got a couple of like smaller things. So I guess that makes sense. And 10 and 11 is what we need. Come in underneath of that one so we don't cut anything off unnecessarily. And 11. Yeah, I found the I still have 20 points to play with, and I found that new army builder list for 10th edition, which is the one we're on. And I'm just trying to memorize army unit names and all that. It's so dense if you're just getting into it and just learning about your army and what they can do. But the core rulebook is just gorgeous. The new one, it gives you all kinds of info on each army and everything, and most of the contents are actually on the Warhammer website for free, which is a weird change. But yeah, it's been nice. Did anyone get a chance to listen to the new episode? There's one dropped today on Patreon, and of course in the main feed this last Monday. We kind of switched over to audio only, and it's been a weird kind of march back in time, but I think it's helping with the actual quality of the sound of the show. Okay, so we've got this, and then this, and these two are going to slot into one another. Easy peasy. Ba-bam. C12. Thank you, Gisoto. Really appreciate that. I've been having a lot of fun. I wanted to keep posting Raven stuff, but we have yet to record again, and they've had a lot of the feed recently, so I wanted to catch up with Packbound. So we've got another one in the can that I'm working on, and another invasion, I believe, too. So gonna work on that too. Ooh, missed a little tiny thing here. Ugh, hate it. There we go. Put him over to the side, and now we have an apothecary. I feel like everyone's just been doing so much better. Not that anyone was doing bad, it's just I feel like people are finding characters and situations are clicking the right way and all that. Whereas I feel like it took us a little bit to find that, you know? 13 and 14. Ooh. Still, yeah. Whoop. 14. Oh, man. God, I can't wait to paint these. One of the things I do like about the way Citadel does everything is the Space Marine blue is an actual color. That is a color I can look up and grab. I don't have to do any guesswork. I can if I don't feel like buying a new shade of blue, but I could also just grab it off the shelf and run with it, which it can be a pain if you're doing a long-term project to to have a color mixed up and then paint for a while and then come back to it a month later and not be able to replicate that shade very well. This way, I can just grab it out of there and use it, and it's a hell of a lot nicer. C15. We just did our second library game sit down. And for those of you who don't know, we're doing like a community thing. So we're hosting D&D games at the library every Thursday. And it was interesting because we were all set up for the people who showed up last time. And it was lovely. And then a whole family walked in that had never played before, didn't show up to make characters. They had their own characters they brought in, so we just had to pivot, and it's like, I'll host a game for them, I guess. And they were the sweetest family. Like, it was a mom and like her 4 kids, and like the youngest was like 6. And I have never been great at dealing with kids, but I think it went pretty well. One point. I'm always impressed with people that can make and paint these models. It always looks so relaxing and zen. It would be the exact opposite if I tried only the first couple of times. What you need to do is find a real cheap starter set and just kind of mess around. Like, make your mistakes that way and then come back to it when you get a little more confidence and then kind of build off of it. No one's great at anything starting out. Most of the time, anyway. God, if I could find the first couple of minis I painted, I would show them off. They are hideous. At the first couple of models, it becomes much more relaxing. Totally agree, Jameson. Loon Point, I have 0 artistic ability. Dancing, yes. Drawing and painting, 0. Here's the thing, though. It's paint by number, basically. Especially with models like these. Because what ends up happening is they are pretty much guiding you on how to paint them. There's whole breakdowns. There's an app showing you, oh, this arm is painted this, and they give you a bunch of different options, and then slowly but surely you just kind of gather new abilities, new tricks. Start with a set of cheap paintbrushes, and yeah, it's like anything else. Seemed to me you were great with kids. The library game has been a lot of fun. A fire inside. Who's a fire inside? Who is this? But I've just never been. I don't have a lot of opportunities to play with kids. most of the time. So that was, especially like, 6, 7, 8 years old. It's a whole other age bracket. So it's a whole other energy you got to kind of bring to it. Josh, oh hey Josh, how you doing? Yeah, it's just a whole other energy. That's all. So 16 and 17. 16 is our right side. There we go. There's our right hip and leg. Oh, that's neat. That's going to look nice. One of the cool things about the Space Marines is you don't have to paint eyeballs 90% of the time, which is the hardest thing to do. I'm going to give you tips and tricks for that, but it's just a mask. 90% of the time, just a mask. So you don't have to mess around with facial features and nostrils and eyebrows and stuff. It is a pain. Like, I have very shaky hands. You might tell from just doing this. So taking a paintbrush and then getting in a groove within a groove within a groove can be tricky. We're going to show you all kinds of little tips and tricks, though. 17 is an arm, looks like. It is an arm holding a dagger. So, if we were to do this several times a week, let's say, these little streams, throw out some times. What would be a good time for everybody? Because I do usually work till 11 or midnight doing sessions and stuff. So it's kind of tricky for me to tell when would be good, Here, let's swivel this a little. There we go. So we can get some light going. Loon Point. I remember seeing the Leonardo DiCaprio Titanic meme, paint me like one of your miniatures, and it shows Rose with two painting eyes looking in different directions. Yep. I did D&D minis for a long time, and I am so glad that I don't play in person most of the time, because it took a long time to get that to a point where I'd want to show somebody. So it got to the point where it was, try it, I screwed up. Paint over it with white, try it, paint it with white. And eventually, the eye's so bulky that I had to strip it down and start over, and that's embarrassing. But it's a skill that once you grab it, once you get there, you'll pretty much nail it every time. And there's little things you could do to give you an edge. And that... Here. Down. Nope, that is where it goes. It just looks derpy. Maybe because it's not in all the way. That is not right. That cannot be right. Hold on. That? Oh, because you're coming in from the side. You're stabbing somebody in the head or something. Like, I get it. Okay. That makes sense then. $18 and $19. It's a pity you can't get mini-sized googly eyes. Oh, man. Hold on a second. Because you can. Oh, God. So, these come with your most box sets, right? And these are emblems that you can put on your minis and stuff like that, chest pieces, head pieces, but they sell them. You see how small these get? They sell eyeballs. And at that point, I don't know if it would be trickier to do this or just paint a damn eyeball, right? Because it just seems so tiny. So even if you get in here with like a really tiny pair of tweezers and you lift it off, and like, I'm trying very hard right now to keep my hands steady, and I don't know if I could. If you wanted to give these a try at some point, because I mean, they would look cool after they're painted to have the actual emblems and everything. You can also get custom emblems done, and I want to make a logo for this, whatever it is that we're doing here. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Jameson, have a good night, man. Enjoy putting stuff together. I hope you guys have fun. Try not to spend money. $18 and $19. Oh, that's going to be fun to paint. Like a little bit of blood on that side, so between gradients and stuff, we can get that looking pretty good. Autofocus. Yeah, it's trying to focus on the background. So, got our backpack piece. And our right arm. Actually, let's taper that off a little bit. That's a little too jagged. And C20 for our stand. I gotta eat dinner, and I have no idea what to eat today. I've been kind of directionless on that. Like, the rest of the day, I just kind of forget dinner's a meal, and I should probably prep for it. I usually cook it and stuff, but I think I get in that mindset of having a session or working late, and then I just kind of like, Arby's? Are you trying to kill us? Like, I thought we were friends. G Soto, I Come on. I want to make sure that, there we go. I want to make sure that's going in at the right angle before I force it and accidentally snap something off. Put the arm back on. and actually finish this up. It's got a little too much wiggle in it. I don't like that. I'm going to cement it. See, Bailey, I know what you want to eat, and it's all the vegetables. I love me some vegetables. Never been a vegetable guy. I'll just take a multivitamin, thank you. Takeout. So, we live in Hancock, New York, which is a tiny village in Hancock. Well, Hancock, New York, yes, but it's a tiny village in. What county is this? Delaware? I think it's Delaware County. Well, the point being, there's really nowhere to go. We have a McDonald's, which is, it's McDonald's. It's fine. But that's it. There's nowhere else to eat, really. There's a pizza place that kind of has weird hours, and a Chinese place that's kind of meh, to be honest. I thought corn wasn't even that good for you in terms of, like, you know what it is? I got a bad taste in my mouth, pardon the pun, growing up when people told me to eat carrots and it'll improve my eyesight. I've been wearing glasses since I've been 12, so it's one lie too far. I'm sorry. I can't trust veggies ever again. We're onto a new unit. The Stern Guard Veteran Squad. Ooh, look at these. These guys are small and easily assemblable. Blah, blah, blah. 21, 22, and 23. Couldn't be easier. Let's take this liquid cement and put it over here before I spill it. Gee, Soto, I think the DNR community just needs to move in and take over Hancock, like that libertarian community in New Hampshire. The one with the bears, yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to move to Hancock, New York, I think we could take this place over pretty easily. Not in like a January 6th way, but like, through voting. I'd vote for someone to be mayor. I miss having stuff like DoorDash. Like, DoorDash hasn't been a thing for us in over a year, and it's just weird. It's hard to get used to. It's like having Uber as a thing and just not, like, that's just not a thing anymore. Not even cabs or anything. It's just 21, 22, 23. That's right. Boom, boom, boom. There's a skull. Need that. There's 23. Where's 22? There's 22. Yeah. There we go. We are nailing this, guys. Easy. $23. Ooh. I hate to not live in a city. I grew up in a small town. Never again. Dude. We've been trying to drive the Patreon up and kind of get back on our feet, and things have been going really well. COVID messed us up, like, hard. But, yeah. if we ever get to a point where buying a house probably is never going to happen, but if we ever get to a point where finding a new place is an option, there'd be like, I don't know. I think there's a nice in between. Like, Hancock's a little too small, but we lived in Sacramento before that, and that's a little dense in terms of population. But that's like the state capital of California, so it's going to be dense. But I think there's an in between. We used to live in Auburn, California, and man, I loved that town. I miss it so much. Yeah, COVID messed everyone up. Yeah, that, I'm not saying we're we're an outlier. Like, everyone got messed up. Okay, we've got a head. Eh. There we go. And a body. Look at that. Hell, we're almost done. Just need a couple of arms. We're good to go. Gee, Soto, I mean, the way the real estate market is going, nobody will own property ever again. There was a house in upstate New York, not out far like you guys, but like, I think 60 miles away from the city. It sold in 2021 for just over quarter million. It's back on the market after some upgrades, and that term is used liberally to the tune of 1.2 million. I don't see how anyone's supposed to win. Like, I think most people, like, I just sneak in under the millennial banner. I'm not quite a Gen Xer. I'm just under the wire for millennial. But starting with this generation onward, I don't know how you're supposed to, like, get to the finish line. Like, there's no retirement. Owning a house is, I mean, even after we had a housing market crash, and still, like, I just don't know how you're supposed to do it, you know? 24 and 25. C. Bailey, I was stationed in a small town in Alaska for a few years. There were 3,000 people there in the summertime, but it's pretty affordable to live in Alaska if you don't use a lot of gas or milk. Um, yeah, I think there's like 1,000 people here in Hancock, something like that. Maybe less. I don't know. It's a real tiny town. That's why I think I don't know what the cutoff for a village is. I'm not sure. Like, it's a nice place. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it's an hour's drive anywhere to like, if you want to go to Walmart or, you know, a restaurant or something. It's all pretty much an hour away in any direction. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Yeah. Fluent Point. I don't think anybody I know is going to be able to retire, but it's led to many a tense conversation with my mother-in-law. We don't really speak anymore. uh, a Fire in Sight being an 83 baby, I feel like the goalpost just gets moved every year. It absolutely does. Gee, every time you go to do your taxes, the rules change. And, I mean, look, it's probably going to get political. I don't give a shit. The thing is, if you look at a guy like Elon Musk, who has essentially infinite money, he was born on third base and can afford to screw up every single year, make terrible business decisions, have cars that run into embankments with people in it or explode. He's still considered the richest man on earth. Of course the goalposts are moved. It's just the system's kind of favoring the absolute pinnacle, and then everybody else has to kind of pay for that. Every time a guy like that gets a bailout, it kind of comes out of our pockets. It's just the way things work out, sadly. 26 and 27. Like, if you saw the stuff that happened with the Ocean Gate sub, I'm not on the side of making fun of anybody for dying, right? Most of the time. Like when COVID rolled around and there were a bunch of really highfalutin anti-vax folks who died of COVID, that's just natural selection. But, this I think there was a reaction online because those people were seen as all rich, and it's tough to feel sympathy for someone who can afford $250,000 to go on a sub ride. C 26. There we go. 26. Gee, Soto, my retirement is to die and make work shorthanded for the day. Really show them for... I can't believe they relied on a Bluetooth controller. Yeah, it wasn't even a good one. It was like a Mad Catz, or it was a Logitech. But, like, it's... Yeah, there's so much about that that's insane. Like, I knew nothing about the whole Ocean Gate thing until it happened. But the guy's been in the news for years. Like, the company's been in the news for years. He's done multiple interviews where, essentially it's him bragging about skirting safety regulations and all that. And it's just crazy that anybody would give him money, let alone sign a document just waving their life away. It's just nuts. Actually, you know what? Let's take this backpack off first, then do this. Get the right angle on it. Come on. Where is it? There's an angle, and I'm not doing it right. Oh, it's lower. That's why. Ah. And I'm still not doing it right. Holy hell. There we are. It's supposed to be down to his side. I see. Aha. Now we can do that backpack. supposed to be one of the small ones? Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. That angle is not right. There we go. I don't... trying to figure out which one this is. I don't think it's one of the smallest ones. I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah. That looks way, way more correct. There we go. There's another complete one. Fire inside. So, is it the unit? Is it the unit or what you put on the unit that makes it better, worth more points in the game? So, unless you're, so the units just come the way they are, right? You don't have to decide what weapons or anything you put on them. You can make them look different physically if you want to kit bash something, like if you want to take different parts or whatever. But at the end of the day, they count as this thing. So what they can do in-game is already decided. You just have to pick the stuff you like the most, then decide to add that to your army, basically. Let's do one more, and then we'll call it for the day. It's been, wow, it's been over an hour already? Holy hell. 28, 29, 30. Okay, I got 28 already. 29 and 30. $30 is a front piece. There we go. How do you keep it balanced when some people are not constrained by budget for the minis they will buy? Well, every game has a point value. So if you're playing a game of 500 points, you can't exceed that. So just because someone has infinite money, they can only put so many minis on the field. So you're all kind of bound by the rules of the game. And there's no be-all, end-all army setup. Because at the end of the day, it's still a dice game. You could have an edge, definitely, but depending on what you pick, let's say you pick a 20-foot-tall mech that's this big. There are minis, quote-unquote, that are huge. There are mega dreadnoughts and all kinds of stuff. It's still one figure. And if that's your entire 500 points, then, like, you could be outmaneuvered. You can be outflanked. You can... So there's always a little bit of checks and balances going on. Lewin Point, Elon Musk can't win for certain in Warhammer. I mean, unless he buys the company, I guess. But even then, just don't play with him. That's my advice. Seems like a big cheater. But yeah, you can come to the table with 100 different minis. You can only put so many down, and yeah, like that's kind of where the fun of the game comes from. It's a little more balanced than, say, Magic the Gathering, where there are hundreds of thousands of cards at this point. Like, Jesus, I've been playing since like 92, 93, something like that. And it's just an infinite amount of card combinations and stuff. And with Warhammer, it's a little bit more balanced because there's only so many of these armies. Kate, how you doing? I just go with the army I find the prettiest. That's it. That's all you do. Because, again, it's kind of balanced. Like, it's you know, if you pay attention to the meta, you're going to have a bad time. That's my opinion. I don't give a shit about the meta. I looked at the army I thought was the coolest, and I picked that. And that's it. Because you're going to spend time putting all these together, hours and hours and hours. Then you're going to spend hours of time looking at them and painting them. I want them to be cool. I don't want to play the thing that's just the meta, the strongest, because the same thing in like Diablo. I want to play the class I want to play. I don't give a shit what the strongest is based on whatever patch. It's just not, it's not fun to me. The hell was I doing? Ah, yes, 31 and 32. The Eldar are the elves. Warhammer had to come up with fancy names for everything so they can copyright them. 31 and 32. That's a 32 right there. That's a bit of arm. Look at you. And then you're a leg. You come with me. Ah. The Eldar, yeah, not the Eldar. What am I thinking? The Eldar. I think it's StarCraft. I think I'm thinking StarCraft. It's been a long time. So, this is going to be the last mini for today. And I'm gonna keep doing these little streams. I'm gonna try to announce them ahead of time a lot more. I'm trying to do it where it's friendly to everybody. Kate, it's really hard. You're Australian. It's tough to line up a stream and have it be friendly to you and us and stuff. So you're just gonna have to wake up earlier, I think, is what we've all decided here today. But we're gonna make it work. It's fine. Obviously, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/DANDR. If you want to support what we do in the show and all that, I promise it's not all going to Warhammer. Most of it is stuff like travel for Dragon Con and stuff for the show. And obviously rent. Rent's important. 33 and 34. Oh, yeah, screaming is part of Warhammer. Not as a player. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. But it's mostly explosions and screaming. Oh, thank you for the cheer! Loon Point, thank you. Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, because I'm almost positive I'm not. Don't be afraid to tell me I'm a dipshit. I tell Kate that all the time. But she's too friendly and sweet. But I will break her. This is my +3 healing knife. I have a game that we bought during the Steam Summer Sale, and I haven't had a chance to play it with Elle. But Battle Sector is the game, and it's like the current like army base building thingy thing. And if you're curious about Warhammer, like that's probably a pretty good starting point, because here we go. That's a pretty good starting point because it has all the armies and it's turn-based. It's basically what the tabletop game is like, basically. Here we go. That is seamless. You pronounce it correctly. I dance ballet, so endpoint. Okay, thank you. Ryan! Love a building thingy thing. You like how my brain just stopped working? Like it performed an illegal action and had to be shut down? Yeah, that's hot. That's real hot. I need a base that'll fit this, so haha. Think there's some bleed over? Yeah, there you go. That's fine. That's pretty much in there. Yeah, that's gonna be nice to paint. I can't wait to paint with you. I almost said I can't wait to paint you guys. Can't wait to paint with you guys. It's gonna be great. Oh, I forgot your backpack. You're naked, basically. Ah, there you go. Much, much better. Ryan, how are you? How are you doing? Ryan, you're my first favorite Ryan, as long as no other Ryans are present to hear me say that, because it would be rude. But other than that, you're my first favorite Ryan. Is the audio weird for anybody else? Honestly, Kate, I don't know what the backpack does for them. I don't know if that's air or a jetpack or anything. I don't think these guys fly. So, like, it's got to do something, right? Okay, so see, Bailey, I wasn't completely off. I know I've played games with them in the past, like Dawn of War, way back in the day, where they were called the Eldar. Maybe I'll play that on stream for some of you guys at some point, if anybody cares. Oh, they even show a finished painted one in this one. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love the look of a finished, highlighted. That's just hot, you know? Just, ooh. A slight hiss. I don't like that. Okay. This is what I want to get to, obviously. That's the fun one, right? Come on. That's going to be the fun one. Oh, I can't wait. Got a few pages to go before that, though. That's okay. So, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys, and we're going to come back to this. There is a very slight hiss, but that could be because it's a quieter stream. I don't like that. So I'll look into it, and I'll try to fix it. But, until then, I'm going to have a date night tomorrow. So I probably won't do a stream tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow afternoon? I don't know. I bet Jason has AC on because it's probably hot as... But it is hot as balls here. It is mid-July, so that's probably what you're hearing. So I'm sorry, I am not turning that off because it is like 90 some odd degrees outside most of the time. So thank you guys so darn much. Really appreciate it. Again, if you want to support what we do, we have a Patreon. You can find it. It's fine. Thank you for the cheers and the follows and all that good stuff. I want to do more and more of these. And yeah, everybody have a fantastic weekend. And I'm sure I'll be streaming really soon. So everybody take care, and we'll see you then.